Meeting for March 1st at 10:45. Obviously not. Call a meeting to order. I see that there are no delegations. We'll move on to reports. 3.1, Director's Service Area Report. Director Glavin.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. We'll start with economic development. The department has issued congratulations cards for 7 new businesses that have opened over the last 2 weeks. And our Business Retention Expansion Coordinator will be attending a number of ribbon cuttings and grand openings in the coming weeks. So there seems to be some optimism and movement on that front, which is good news. We've also received 2 new residential infill applications that are currently under review. The grants team has also been busy meeting with prospective applicants and fielding a number of inquiries. Invest Grande Prairie has also been involved recently with the Grande Prairie Women in Business Network group. And the Manager of Economic Development was just recently asked to speak at the Edmonton Real Estate Forum in May to present to that community on opportunities in Grande Prairie. In engineering, there are a couple new projects that have been posted. The request for proposals for the 2022 and 2023 traffic signal inspection program, as well as the tender for the 99th Avenue bridge repairs, as well as 2 closed projects, which was the tender for the 108th Street upgrades from 132nd Avenue north to city limits, as well as tender for phase 2 of the road rehabilitation program. In transportation, the 5th round of residential snow clearing starts tomorrow. And in parks, the city-owned rinks have been brought back to good condition and are being maintained. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Okay, are there any questions of Director Glavin? None online. See none in all. We'll move on to 3.2, Woods Lake Area Structure Plan Cost Recovery. Mr. Dan Welton. Go ahead.
Right. Thank you, Chairman Given. At the January 18th committee meeting, I presented proposed terms of reference for a Wood Lake area structure plan. Committee directed administration to bring back opportunities for the city to recoup invested costs for preparing the ASP from the landowners. We obtained a legal opinion which determined it is possible for the city to recoup the cost of preparing ASPs from the benefiting landowners. They identified that we would need to amend the municipal development plan to put something in there that describes the whole process where we would determine what the cost is, how we would assign the cost to the various landowners. One example might be it would just be on a raw land area basis. The second might be based on the amount of developable land, because different quarter sections will have different amounts of developable and undevelopable land. And what kind of rate the city would charge, whether we would be charging staff time or would we be charging the equivalent of planning contractor rates. Our lawyers have also identified that we would need to amend the fees, rates, and charges bylaw, and it appears that we could either do this at the subdivision stage or the development stage, development permit stage. As part of the process, we did look at 3 of our recently adopted area structure plans that the city initiated for lands annexed in 2016. 2 were done by planning consultants. The 3rd was done by in-house by the city planning department with support from various internal departments. For the Northern Lights ASP, which we did internally, we identified that the approximate amount of time doing that plan was approximately 500 hours, and so we figured that staff time was approximately $32,000. If we had contracted that out, I expect that the contracted rate might have been somewhere in the area of like $64,000. We have estimated that the Wood Lake area structure plan might take about 300 hours, which would be approximately $20,000 in staff time to complete. At staff rates of pay, it would probably double that if we were assigning contractor rates of pay for that. We want to mention that the area structure plan is really not comparatively an expensive plan. When outline plans are done usually at the quarter section level by the landowners, that is a much more expensive planning process that the landowner and their consultants have to go through. In addition to the outline plan, they have to submit design reports for water, sewer, storm, transportation, biophysical, geotechnical, those sorts of plans, and obviously those are very expensive. And so we just wanted to basically just identify that the landowner, when they do outline plans at the quarter section level, have a significant cost basically that they bear themselves. So I guess at this point we've identified three options. One is to proceed with an area structure plan for Wood Lake and bring forward amendments to the MDP and the fees, rates, and charges bylaw. The second one is to actually bring forward the amendments to the MDP and the fees, rates, and charges bylaw for council consideration before council decides whether they want us to proceed with an area structure plan. And then the third option is to not proceed with either the ASP or the amendments to the MDP and the fee, rates, and charges bylaw.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Councillor Laners.
Thank you, Mr. Walton. Just curious in terms of timelines. I know we got the IDP plan next. Intermunicipal Development Plan? Yeah, I think so. And then there's the MDP that follows right after that. How long before you think you would be looking at a revised MDP following our normal process?
Through the chair, I guess, could you clarify, is this an amendment to the MDP to adopt this procedure, or is it just a review of the MDP in general?
No, I guess your second option is to bring forward amendments to the MDP, and if we're doing it anyway, perhaps we could include those changes to the MDP later on. I'm just thinking, do we want to make amendments to the MDP, or do we want to just wait for you to do it and go to option A? But if you think it's going to be 6 months or a year, I'm just curious on timelines. When do you think we'll be attacking the MDP, and when we'll be done that process? And it can be anybody answering that.
Yeah, I would go ahead, Mr. Walton.
Through the chair, I guess I would have to defer the question of the timing of our MDP review to someone else. I'm not familiar with what the city's or the department's timeline is for reviewing or redoing the MDP. Mr. Glavin might know. I'm not aware of what our timing is.
Okay,
Thank you.
fair enough. Yeah, I'll ask Mr. Director Glavin.
Director Glavin, then Mayor Clayton, then.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. We're unlikely to revise the MDP this year. We would likely wait until IDP concludes. However, if directed, this would be a relatively minor amendment to the MDP that we would make.
Mayor Clayton. Okay. Director Glavin. Director Blackmore, you put your hand up.
Director. Oh, you gotta.
It's a good place to come. I don't have a question, but I would vote in my instinct is to prefer option B, to amend the MDP and then proceed or not proceed as we choose with this particular ARP. I think that I would prefer that because I can see in the future that this is something that we would probably want to have in the NDP anyway, ability to recoup costs. So it makes sense for me to go ahead with that. And then I think the discussion of the Woody Lake is an entirely different discussion to have at a different time.
Okay. Any other discussion? Councillor Laners.
Just curious what, I don't meet with the build group. I think it's build group. I don't know unless they call themselves UDI still. I'm not sure what we do in Grande Prairie. But I'd be curious what their thoughts might be on the fact that if the city does it, they can get a half-price area structure plan. It's good, they might like that notion, but they might not like the influence. It's one, they're driving the train, and the other one, the city's driving the train. So I would be curious. I don't mind what Councillor Blackmore said in terms of making those amendments to the change, but I'd also like to see a comment or two from the local developers to see, that they agree that we've still maintained a local consistent playing field. and or they like that alternative so that they can do it that way. So that's what I would be looking for.
Okay, any direction? Should there make a motion to refer back? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I would make a motion that we bring forward amendments to the MDP and fees, rates, charges bylaw for council to consider before proceeding with the ASP, option number 2.
Okay, I think that's in order. I'm getting a nod. So, call the question. Okay, that's carried. Any other items? Okay, seeing none, there is no correspondence. Thank you, Mr. Welton. No other business under 5 and 6, policy review. 6.1, repeal of policy 6110. Sorry, I recognize Ms. Donnelly.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. I'm here to present this report and a review of some old policies revealed that there is no council motion to repeal them. They're dated back from 1979 and 75, so they're really old. They have not been utilized during my time with the department, so I think this is more of a housekeeping thing that needs to be done, and it is recommended that these 2 policies, 6110, driveway installation, and 6335, service charges, be repealed.
Okay, Councillor Blackmore.
Because we have not used these in the entire time I've been married, that's a long time, I would just move that this committee recommend council repeal policy 61110, driveway installation, and policy 6335, service charges.
Okay, that motion is in order. Call the question. Perfect, that is carried. And we'll go to item number 7, outstanding items list.
Thank you, Chair O'Connor. So today we addressed Wood Lake, and we'll bring back additional information in the future on that, and I believe everything else is in order.
Everything else, I would entertain a motion. Councillor Laners.
Make a motion that we accept the outstanding items list as presented. Amended, sorry.
Call the question. That is carried unanimously. And now we will entertain a motion to go in camera to do look at a real estate. Councillor Blackmore.
I would make that motion.
Okay, so move. Call the question. Thank you very much. That was carried.